Hello again. Thank you for tuning in to Just Pause. I hope you're well, despite the current situation happening with the virus. We will get through this. So I'll get right into it. This episode is going to talk about letting go, particularly letting people go. I'm going to play a short clip. It comes from Medea. For anyone that doesn't know who Medea is a character created by Tyler Perry. And in this clip, she just offers some really good wisdom about letting people go. So have a listen and we'll get back into it.
Let it go. Let folks go.
It's not always that easy.
Ain't nobody said it was going to be easy, but it'll get easy when you learn how to love yourself. When you get to a point in your life where you look at people and you go, okay, wait a minute, you or me, you will make a decision. Because when you telling folks to do something, and I never throw nobody away. I've never in my life just thrown nobody where you say, look, don't bother me no more, don't talk to me. No, I've never done it. What I do is I tell you, say, look, this thing you're doing right here, that's going to cause a problem. You need to fix that, because if we're going to be friends, we're going to be cool, you got to fix that. And if you don't, we're going to have an issue. If you see somebody fix it or they even trying to fix it, that's somebody that care. Keep them people around. That's a leaf that's trying to grow up and be something else. You understand? But if you tell somebody that what you're doing is hurting me and I need you to stop it, and they keep doing it, they don't care, move on, let them go. No matter how much it hurts, let them go. And it'll get easier, I promise you, every day. It'll get easier and easier and easier, but you just got to make it through. You hear me, sonny? And see, you got to learn how to be by yourself, son. People have to learn how to be alone. I don't understand only people, I need somebody. Lord, where's my man? Lord, where's my woman? That is crazy as hell. If you don't know how to be by yourself, what you going to do with somebody else? Stop praying about it. Shut up and wait. Go work on you. Hell, that's what that time is for, to get yourself together.
So that was Medea, and I'm just going to talk about 3 points from that clip that can give a good foundation on letting people go. It's not easy to let people go, especially when you've invested so much into that relationship. And it can be a friend, it can be a relationship between family members, it can be a relationship between someone that you were romantically involved with. Either way, letting go is not an easy thing to do. But some of the things that she mentions in that clip, one of them is you can learn to let go when you learn to love yourself. I've talked earlier in this podcast about self-love, and I think learning to love yourself is the basis for letting go. Because without that, you will always prioritize the other person's feelings. You will always prioritize what the other person wants and the other person's needs. And I'm saying this from living the experience right now. I am learning right now the art of letting people go. And it's been a process. And that's another thing about letting go. It's a process. Don't think that is something you have to do in one go, in one breath. It's a process. And for me, I really learned that loving myself makes it that much easier to let people go, because it gives me that balance of thinking about their feelings, but also thinking about my own feelings as well. At some point, you have to prioritize yourself, and you can't do that if you don't learn to love yourself, if you don't learn that your feelings and your needs have just as much value as the other person. So that's one of the things that Medea mentions in this clip. Letting go is about learning to love yourself. Another thing that is mentioned is about holding people accountable. If you are letting someone know that what they're doing is hurting you, what they're doing is wrong, and they continue to do it, you don't have to continue caring. You have to let that person go. I've made this mistake where I've looked at people's intentions. They didn't mean it, or they were going through something. I'll give an example. I have had to let a friendship go that I have had in my life for over 10 years. And unfortunately, this friend was dealing with a gambling issue, which got me into a lot of problems myself. If anyone is listening to this that's ever dealt with someone with a gambling addiction, it's a really difficult time, not just for the person going through it, but for the family or friends that are supporting that person. So it's been time since this issue happened with this friend, and he's no longer in that headspace. But unfortunately, there are still things happening that are showing me that this person, the season for this person being in my life has come to its end. And part of the thing that I had to learn to do was to hold this person accountable and stop making excuses for this person. Sometimes we do make excuses for people, and in the end, we only end up hurting ourselves. So it's important to let someone know what they're doing is wrong, because you've held them accountable, and then that leaves them to change their ways. Or if not, you have to be the one that changes, and you have to let that relationship go. And I think sometimes we can teach people how to love us by the way we hold them accountable and the way that we love ourselves. Stop waiting for someone else to love you. Love yourself. Be the best example of love by the way you love yourself. And hold people accountable. Stop looking at people's intentions. Yes, sometimes people hurt people. Sometimes people will hurt you without having the intention to, but that isn't a reason enough to allow it to happen. So hold people accountable. And if they don't change their ways, it shows that they don't care, or they are just not in the mindset to accommodate your feelings as much as their own. So let them go. The third thing that is mentioned in the clip that I played earlier is learning to be alone. If you can't be alone, how will you be with someone else? How will you be happy with someone else when you can't be happy within yourself? And the way that I have approached this in the times when I've had a relationship that hasn't worked out, a romantic relationship that didn't work out, it can feel like you have this void and this empty space, and you need to fill it up with something. But learning to be alone is really, really powerful. And the way to do that is to use that alone time to work on yourself. There is no higher investment to make than the one you make in yourself. We all invest our energy in so many other ways, just in our daily living, whether you get up in the morning and you have to go to work, whether you are a father or a mother and you have children that depend on you and you need to be there for them. But remember that you also need to make time to invest in yourself. And in the context of when a relationship has ended, that is the time to learn to be alone and work on yourself. Having the best relationship with yourself will have such a positive effect on any relationships that you have outside that. You have to be happy within you. You have to be okay with turning the key to your door and going into your home and being alone, because children will grow up and they will move on and start to live their own life. Your husband, your wife, they have their own life too. And tomorrow is never promised to any of us. And God forbid something happens to your life partner. You have to be in a place before you get into a relationship where you are happy being alone. And when you meet someone, their presence in your life acts as a bonus instead of coming into your life to try to fill up some kind of void or complete you in some way. Being alone is something that I've learned to be comfortable with. For me, my difficulty in letting people go is learning to love myself and let them go. One of my faults in life, one of my areas that I want to work on is just having that balance between caring for others, but also caring about myself. Loving others is a good thing to do, but when you compromise love for yourself, that's when it becomes a problem. So those are the three things that are mentioned in the clip. You learn to let people go when you learn to love yourself, when you hold them accountable for what they are doing wrong, and if they continue to do it, that's a sign you need to let them go, and learning to be alone. When you let someone go, it can feel like there's this emptiness there, especially if it's in a relationship that you've had for a long time and a lot of energy has been invested. But in that alone time, learn to work on yourself. Let it be miserable. Let it be a hard time. It's fine. It's fine to cry. It's fine to feel like the world has come to an end. It hasn't. Go through it. Let yourself feel what you're feeling. But in the end, being alone and unhappy is better than being with someone who doesn't make you happy. Sometimes we hold on to things, we hold on to people because we hate the feeling of emptiness. We hate the feeling of having that space, that gap where there's just nothing there. But it's better to have nothing there than to have something there that is the wrong thing. If someone is hurting you and they're not changing their ways and you've made them accountable, you've addressed the issue and they continue to do it, that's who they are. You're not going to change them. You have to be the one that makes the change. Sometimes I feel like we wait for others to make the changes that we really need to be doing ourselves. And sometimes that change is to step away from that situation, step away from that relationship. It will hurt, especially when you love someone. It's natural to feel pain in walking away, but you have to do it for you. So listen back to that clip, and if there is someone in your life that you need to let go, start the process. Leave me some comments down below if you can, and just let me know what your thoughts are, and take care.